have your breakfast? Puss? I think I've ever said the word puss in my life. Guys, I fully just burnt my eyelid. My actual eyelid. I've just burnt it with a hair wand. And I'm actually so frightened about what's going to happen to it. The notification went off on my Apple Watch. And like an idiot, I turned my wrist to look at the notification with the wand in my hand, like an absolute dum-dum, and the wand hit my eyelid, like actually in my eye socket. Thankfully didn't burn my eyelashes off, but oh my god, I'm actually scared. Anyway, welcome. As always, I'm going to go straight into this week's Love What Luck story. My 8-year relationship ended last year. He started acting weird, starting arguments and putting me down. All I would do was put in so much effort to try and make home life a bit nicer for everyone, but I was getting nothing back. I just think what type of dickhead you've got to be, right? To have somebody constantly making so much effort and, you know, unless you've got mental health issues, obviously. But like somebody's making so much effort to you and you just can't be asked to just be decent back or be nice back. Like, we don't have to be treating you this way. I don't have to treat you nice. Like, if you want to be miserable in this house, I'll show you how to be miserable. Like, the audacity on people. I feel like I use the word audacity all the time because where do people get it from? Anyway, I always thought I couldn't be without him, but eventually I had enough. He went to Vegas for his brother's wedding. I feel like that sentence alone spells trouble. We all know Vegas is a wild, wild place. Also, how croaky is my voice today? I've noticed this since yesterday, and this is usually what people hate on me on Facebook for. So yeah, I apologise. I find it super annoying. I think it's hay fever. Anyway, sorry. So he went to Vegas for his brother's wedding. I stayed at home with our 3-year-old as I couldn't get childcare for that long, and I thought the break would do him good. Like, God bless you, my sweet, sweet child. Like, even in the midst of being with an arsehole, you're still thinking about him and you're thinking, do you know what? Let him go to Vegas for his brother's wedding. Let him enjoy himself, because ultimately that means he'll feel better in himself and he'll be better in the house. Like, makes complete sense. But let me tell you, I've obviously heard the end of this story. And as you can probably imagine, that's not how it goes. Man took the free time in Vegas and ran with it. She said, when he came back, things got worse. One night, I looked on his phone to find he had been messaging one of the bridesmaids, the wife's friend. Let me just repeat that. One night, I looked on his phone to find he had been messaging one of the bridesmaids. I instantly brought it up with him, but with only one message to go by as all the rest were deleted, he put it to me that it was just a friendly exchange after the wedding. I think that's a really tough place to be because your gut is obviously telling you that's not the case. It's like you know that that's not the case. You obviously know, not just your gut, but even finding one single message and the rest are deleted. I mean, why just keep one, by the way? Anyway, I feel like I always come with these like tips and I'm like, if you're going to cheat, at least be good at it. Like, anyway, like, no, but do you know what I mean? I feel like I've had that comment before where it's just like, you obviously don't even care enough to do it well, because why not delete all the messages? Why just leave a single message? But yeah, it's a hard place to be because obviously you know that he's cheating, but you haven't got enough proof. So, you know, if he's not admitting it, you're only like kind of sounding crazy by like going by just your gut feeling and the one message. Do you know what I mean? And obviously ultimately she's probably hoping it's not true, so kind of have to listen to him. It's a very tricky place to be there. They had a UK wedding reception where she was there, and the vibe was so off with everyone that I ended up going home early. So the brother with the Vegas wedding had a UK reception and she went to that one, and the vibe was off, which not good. It made me feel so uneasy that a couple of weeks later, when he went out with his brother, I invited my friend over to go through his works van. I wanted to see if there was anything on his works phone. Juicy, juicy, a man's got to burn a phone. Anyone that's got 2 phones, work or not, gotta be a red flag, no? This reminds me, and I can't even remember the full story, but I remember, she'll kill me if I even let on that it could be her, so I'm going to have to try and be very smart with my descriptions here. But one of my friends with her ex-boyfriend had this similar thing, and he had a works van, and we did have to do some digging around the works van, and we probably went into it. Not in the works van, but like into the whole scenario, and this is what it reminded me of, like, bring your friend over and let's go and search everything that they've got. Okay, so they're going through his works phone. She said, we couldn't get into it as he had recently changed his passcode. Red flag. We gave up, but just as I returned the phone, my friend tried one more time and it unlocked. Can I just tell you, that's given me a cinematic experience. When I read that, I was like, oh, you can just imagine I'm like for hours and hours, like, why? Come on, I've come all the way over. We're going to crack it. Right, think about it. Baby's date of birth, wedding, birthday, mother's birthday. You're thinking of all the obvious things. Then you're thinking, no. What's his PIN for his bank? What are the easiest number codes that people tend to do? Try 4 1s, 4 2s, 4 3s. Like, you go through what you think everything. And then just as you're giving up, you go to pass your friend the phone. And the universe is just like, no, ladies. I'm going to come through for you. And the friend just picks up the phone and just taps a little light number in. She's not even thinking about it. She's just like, oh God. And then it unlocks. Imagine the like relief and excitement you would feel. Do you know what? To be fair, I have never checked a boyfriend's phone. I've never wanted to. However, there was this one time. Now, if you've listened to episodes, you know that I broke up with one ex in Mykonos, and it was a really horrendous time. It was a really horrendous breakup, and I don't think I've ever said this part of the story. I feel like I've never said the story in full because like so much went on in the whole week that it's just too much. So now again it comes in dribs and drabs, but I don't know if I've ever said this part of the story because this part is a little bit embarrassing for me. But you have to understand what I went through, right? So I was on holidays in this week. We'd been rocky for a while through stuff that I did mainly, but also through him. He was just, yeah, we just weren't good, right? And first night of the holiday, he goes through my phone. He went through my phone a few times. I've actually had a couple of boyfriends that have gone through my phone. That's another story for another time. But I've never done it, right? And even when he used to go through my phone, and Nev used to try and go through his, anyway, he went through his phone. I had a big argument with me over messages that were not before we got together, before I'd even met him. Before this man was even in my life, he had found messages and was starting an argument with me over it. I was like, it was 4 years ago. Get over it. They're in my archived messages. Anyway, so this whole thing goes on, right? It's been a really tumultuous week, I would say. And we've broken up, right? So we've broken up and it's the last night of the holiday. I will die if... I just know that there's somebody going to be listening to this that's going to know him and me. So it's a little bit embarrassing for me to admit. But whatever. It's my podcast, so it's my story. It is what it is, right? So this is a major segue to the story, by the way. I'm sorry. I will come back to it and I'll do a little recap. Anyway, so we've broken up, yeah. And we're finishing the holiday together because he said he was going to go home early. Obviously, he never did. I didn't even offer because I'm like, bitch, I'm in Mykonos. I'm going to have a good time with or without you. And best believe I did. Anyway, so we're lying in bed, right? He's asleep. And I'm lying there wide awake. And I'm thinking, when we part ways, I need to know that this guy hasn't got any pictures of me or anything of me that I don't want anyone to see, because I just did not trust him at this point. Like, we'd gone through so much, like arguments and all the rest of it, that I just like didn't trust him as a person with anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything had changed. So I was waited for him to go to sleep. I was so scared, guys. I was so frightened. You have no idea. Waited for him to go to sleep. And it was a few years ago now. So It was when iPhones had like the button and you could press it with your thumb. I was lying there. His arm, in my memory, it was around me, which is bizarre because we literally hated each other, but I think it was around me. So I had to try and get his phone and hold his thumb on the button until it opens. You might think this sounds easy, right? I thought it would be. You remember how easy you used to go like that on Apple phone, touch it like that, your phone would unlock straight away. No, guys, it took me, honestly, at least 30 minutes. I was petrified. This man was sleeping. I was like, if he wakes up when I'm doing this, he's actually going to, like, lose his mind. The arguments we had were, oh my God, mental. I was like, if he finds me doing this, like, I actually don't know what's going to happen. But still, I was like, let's risk it. So I was trying for 30 minutes to get into this man's phone. It eventually unlocked, and that's what I mean with that feeling. It was like, oh, thank God. And I honestly didn't care what was on it, what had he done. Like, I literally didn't care. I'm not even with it at this point. I literally couldn't care less. But I, like, went through photos and stuff and just made sure that there was, like, nothing on there. Not that I really believe, well, I say that. I must have believed that he was just seemed in those arguments the type of person that could, like, send a picture to someone or something. So that's the only phone I've gone through, and I just went through and I, like, deleted my stuff, and he never said anything to me about it. And I'm like, did he ever find out, or did he have, like, a secret folder, which I actually think he did used to have a secret folder. So yeah, he never ever mentioned it, but I managed to, so basically I went in the bathroom, did all that, and then came back out, put his phone back, and went to sleep. Like, I actually got away with it until now. I mean, he's not going to care now, I'm sure. But yeah, that's the only time I've gone through someone's phone. I was absolutely terrified. I was so scared because I was like, if he comes out, yeah, big arguments. But the people that have the balls to go through somebody else's phone, the thing is, you're always going to find someone you don't like. One boyfriend went through my phone, woke me up out of my sleep, and had go at me for having a video on my phone on holidays. I might have said the story before. And there was a guy stood next to me. I don't even know who the guy was. It was random. So I'm like, not only are you putting us through turmoil, you've put yourself through turmoil just by looking at that, because you've got in your head there is someone else. So I just don't advise it, but in this case she did get to the bottom of things. But anyway, you'll see. So quick recap. The guy is a dick. She's unhappy in the relationship. He keeps putting her down, starting arguments. Something's off. They've been together 8 years and they got a 3-year-old. He goes to Vegas for his brother's wedding, comes back, things are even worse. She checks his phone, finds out that he's been messaging the bridesmaid from the brother's wedding. So that's his brother's wife's friend. So his sister-in-law's friend. So that's where we're at. When going through, it was apparent that oh my God. When going through, it was apparent that the exchange had now moved to his work phone and he had met up with her twice in the last couple of weeks. Can you believe that? Sending pictures and videos of their days, which made me really sad because that's like not even nudes. I think I'd rather find nudes, I think. I mean, I don't know, but I think so, rather than like videos and pictures of your day, because that's like goes into more of like an emotional thing, don't know. It turns out that night he went out, the night that she checked his phone, it wasn't just with his brother, it was with his wife and her friend too, the bridesmaid. Which I cannot cope with that. Because I'm sorry, it's your sister-in-law. If my sister came to me and was like, said, look, long story short, I'm seeing this guy behind my husband's back and I want to go out to show, can we go on a double date? I'd be like, no, absolutely not. Sort your shit out. Have the affair in secret. Don't tell me about it. Or break up with your husband and then come back to me and maybe we can go on a double date in a year or two's time when things have simmered down. The fact that like all of them are involved in it just blows my mind. Especially the woman, and that's not me having a go, but it's like, come on, girl code. The brother's a little bit difficult, but also is he morals? Like, you should be trying to teach your morals to your siblings. Like, one time when I went to cheat on an ex, my friend put me in my place and she was like, you shouldn't do this. Like, you need to come home with me now. Like, don't do this. And, like, you need that honesty sometimes to, even if you don't listen, Still, I mean, maybe he did do that and he didn't listen. But going on a double date, being an accomplice to the whole thing, bit much. A little bit much, I think, mate. I sat on this for the rest of the night, and then the next day, he approached me and said he doesn't think he wants what I want anymore. I mean, firstly, no shit, mate. But secondly, you've done this and you're breaking up with me. Why not break up with me in the start? Because the whole point of cheating is that you don't want to break up. You cheat because you don't want to break up and you're in turmoil, yeah? So what is the point of cheating on me for all this time and then breaking up with me? The audacity of that, the gall, the gumption, I can't get over. Because if you're going to cheat on me, carry on until I find out and then I can decide whether to break up with you or not. Don't cheat on me and then dump me. Dump me before. I don't understand that. Well, I do. He's obviously like a coward and he's doing it and he wants to make sure that he's got his exit plan sorted before he jumps ship, which is the worst kind of cheater, can I just say. The best kind of cheater is one that either does it, obviously, and is in turmoil and da-da-da, and you apologise, blah, blah, blah. The second best type of cheater is that does it once and then breaks up shortly after because they're like, wow, I've done it and I can't go back. The worst type of cheater, I don't know if I'm rating cheaters here, but the worst type is this, I think, surely. That carries on and then has the balls to end it with you. I wonder if he like knew that she somehow found out. Like, I'd love to hear his side. Like, I went into the work van that morning and I'd noticed my bag was in the passenger seat and it was never in the passenger seat. I always kept it in the back. And then he opens it and sees the work phone and he's like, oh, she knows. She knows. Another like cinematic experience. Honestly, if I was a film producer, I feel like I could make, maybe not a film, but a little TV show out of this one. There's lots of like little dramas going on. Okay, so he broke up with her. I confronted him about what I had found out. He denied it until he was 100% sure that I knew it all. He said he only met up with her to explain he couldn't text on his personal phone anymore, as I had seen the original message and got funny about it. His brother and wife were in on it the whole time. Also, that's such a shit excuse. Well, this girl that you've met once, you have to go and meet up in person to tell her, like, does he actually think by saying that we're going to believe him? Does anyone actually think that lie is believable? Like, come on now. So stupid. I would be like, oh, I had to meet up with her. Like, if somebody like saw me with somebody, I'd be like, oh, I had to meet up with her because she left this at the wedding, and I don't know. Shaking my head. Soon after this, I found out I was pregnant with his child. He hasn't been interested in the baby or our 3-year-old son. He's only interested in lads' holidays and weekends out drinking with his single friends. His family has had little to no contact, so I'm doing this on my own with support of my friends and family. 8 months after the split, and I realised this amazing relationship I had was actually him putting me down for most of it. And I'm so much happier without having to please someone that didn't appreciate me. I have no doubt that in the near future I will find someone that will love me and my kids and will never make me doubt my worth. So I love the ending. Again, guys, you got such a positive outlook because, like we said, I think it was on last week's episode, I even said, like, obviously when you go through the breakup, you think it's so hard, and it is so hard, obviously, and it's so bad. But ultimately, I think, especially after 8 years with someone, lots of the time you miss or you grieve, like, the idea of that person and that relationship. But then I think when you're coming out of that, you realise that, like, that wasn't good anymore. And what you're grieving, one, I think, is just the time spent with somebody, because it's just habit. Every day you come home and you see that person, something big happens in your life, you text that person. Like, lots of it is habit. I think that's one of the hardest things about breakup is, like, I don't know, getting used to not talking to them, right? This is not the same thing, but I have an ex, right, that really made me laugh about manatees. I didn't know what manatees were, they're an animal, and he told me, and it just made me laugh so much, and we just used to joke throughout the whole relationship about manatees. So now whenever I see a video or like a picture, a meme, it came up on my phone the other day, literally a TikTok of a manatee, all I want to do is send it to him. I don't care to know how you are, how has your day been, where you are in life. I just want to send you this reel. I want you to react to it with laughing faces, and then I want us to go on with our day and our separate lives. That's all I need. And I think breakups are like that times a million, you know, obviously the sadder parts. But I think firstly, it's like getting used to it. And also I think sometimes you grieve like the best parts, don't know. It's like when somebody passes away, they could have been an arsehole their whole lives, but you're not going to talk about that. You're going to talk about all the good things they did. It's the same as when you break up with somebody. You're literally like mourning the loss of somebody. So obviously you think about all the good stuff, but you're mourning the stuff that probably happened at the start of the relationship. That's not how the relationship was going. And then like this girl, like she's come out and she's like, F you. I think the hardest part is that he's got no input with the kids. Again, like, what do you think you are? Like, they are your children. And I just can never understand a man that's like, well, you carried them, so they're yours. Again, we spoke about this last week. Like, step up. There needs to be much more, what's the word? Like, they need to get much more stick for that. And there needs to be more of a stigma about leaving your child, I think. Because weirdly, I feel like it's almost normalised that a guy can kind of have that decision. But I think it needs to be like the other way around. It should bring like full shame on them. That noise, right, is obviously an email going off. Let me tell you, I've tried for about a year to stop that and I cannot. I've asked on an episode before for someone to let me know how to stop it. If you know, can you DM me or something? Because it drives me insane. I have literally tried everything. The notifications are off, the sound's off, and it still comes through and it drives me mad. Sorry. I can't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, men are dicks, no. Yeah, just the whole baby thing I think is really bad, but well done for you for sharing it, and, you know, you're doing good. Like you said, you feel in a better place without him, and I think that's always, no, I'm going to say always the case. All the stories like I sent literally are that. It's literally people being like, I'm heartbroken, I was sick for whatever. They go through shit, I'm not saying. But always at the end, it's like, I'm so much better off without him now, and I feel better. So bear that in mind. Okay, so welcome to Love What Luck, officially. Official welcome. I feel like I went straight in today. I have very good, exciting news for us. We reached 1,000 followers on Spotify. We finally got there. We actually got there last week, but I didn't find out until the episode came out. So I'm sorry, I'm a week late announced now. We've surpassed 1,000 followers. So thank you so much for everyone that's done that. If you're not already following me, please do it now. Come follow me on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you see me, hear me. Just give me a follow. Like I said, I'll get so many listens a week, but I don't get the follows because, to be fair, until I started a podcast, I didn't think of following a podcast, but it's actually so good now because on Spotify, when you follow a podcast, if I go on podcasts and shows, all the ones I follow will come up in a little square at the top, and any new episode will have a little blue square. Or if I follow them on Apple Podcasts, I'll get a notification being like, new episode. And that's it. Like, you don't get bombarded. It just tells you when a new episode comes out, which is obviously the best. So yeah, please come and follow me. But as you know, I was going to do a giveaway when I reach 1,000 on Spotify. I'm going to do one when I reach YouTube as well. So follow me on there or subscribe. But the winner of the poll was a Zara voucher. So that's what I'm going to do. The gift is a £50 Zara voucher, and it's from me just as a thank you. Obviously, I wish I could give you so much more and thank you all in person, but as you know, I hope by now that I'm like super grateful for everyone that listens and shares and messages me, and I just love it. So yeah, it was just my little thank you to you. Now, I actually feel really guilty for this next bit, but I was thinking, I can't see who follows me on Spotify. I can't see your names. I can't see anything. I just see the number. So to pick a winner, and I am apologising for this because I feel like it's more hard work for you guys, but if you want to enter the giveaway, I'll put a reminder on my Instagram anyway next Tuesday. I'm at Sadie Maltby and at Love What Luck. But if you're listening, I'll keep the thing up running for a week because I know some people might not listen on a Tuesday. So basically, let me get this to you in proper terms because I need you to understand. Next Tuesday, the 25th of July, I will announce the winner of the giveaway. And I'm doing that to give you a week to enter in case you don't follow me on Instagram and you don't listen to this live. Okay? So that's when the giveaway winner is going to be revealed. If you want to enter the giveaway, screenshot the following on Spotify. So, you know, when you click on my podcast, it'll say follow. Screenshot when it says following and just DM me at Sadie Maltby or at Love What Luck, or you can email it to me, or you can send it to me on Facebook Messenger. However you communicate, I know not everyone's on Instagram, not everyone's on Facebook, etc, etc. All the links are in my show notes. Send me the picture, and as soon as I see there, your picture and your name, obviously not your picture, but the picture of the following and your name, I will enter you in the giveaway, and then I'll announce it on the 25th, but obviously if you've won, I'll message you back. So yeah, that's what I'm going to need you to do, guys. I'm not going to ask you to follow me. Obviously, it's appreciated if you come to my Instagram, give a gal a follow if you don't already. But yeah, that's the requirement, and I'm sorry to ask for another task, but it has to be done fairly. So yeah, that's it. 'Cause at first I was like, oh, I'll just do it on Instagram. I'm like, no, it obviously needs to be the Spotify people. Hopefully you all follow me anyway. But yeah, that's it. So thank you so much, guys. We made it. It feels like a nice little milestone. Next one's 5k. So we really need to up the follows here, thick and fast. Help a gal get out there. Right, one of you guys sent me this to read out, and it is so good, and I'm so glad you sent it to me, because I did not see it, but it really made me laugh. So yeah, if you do see anything that you think is like right up my street, send it to me, because yeah, I missed this one, but it's really funny. So it's basically like, well, it's on Instagram, but I think it's come from a tweet or something, but it's somebody else talking, yeah. And she says, sometimes I randomly think about the time a girl posted in this girls only Facebook group I'm in, telling everyone how she broke up with her boyfriend, and he lied, saying that he lost the spare key she gave him, only to then break into her apartment when she wasn't home and steal the cat they'd adopted while they were together. So they broke up, lied and said he lost the spare key when she asked for it, but in fact used it to break into the house in the middle of the night and steal the cat. Can you even deal with that? How scary. He denied having done this, and she didn't really have proof that he took the cat, since he wouldn't let her come into his place and look for it, obviously, because he had the cat there. Another girl saw this post in the group and knew her ex-boyfriend and was like, girl, I used to hook up with your mans back in wherever, and I still have his number. If you want, I'll hit him up and get him to invite me back to his place and see if your cat's there. And the girl was like, okay, bet. So this woman hit up the guy, asked him out for drinks, went home with him, slept with him, and then woke in the middle of the night and took the cat back. Like, she had only said that she would confirm if the cat was there, but then she took it upon herself to steal this woman's cat back. She full on Trojan horse this man, and then hit up home girl like, I got the goods, where are you, do you want to meet? And then the two of them posted a photo of them together with a cat in the group. And I just think women supporting women is so beautiful. Is that not the best story ever? I absolutely loved it. This is, you know, I told I'm in like a girls only Facebook group. I got invited to it, can you remember? And to be fair, I read out stuff from it then. I was like, I'm going to stay in this for tea for the podcast. I haven't actually gone in it since, so I need to have another look in it. But that's the same. It's just like all girls, and they just post a picture of the guy, and then they all go in on the comments, and they all help each other, and it's all lovely. There's no like bitchiness or that I've seen. I mean, I haven't been in it long, but it's all just like girls helping girls out. But I absolutely loved that. Like, the ball, imagine the man. Imagine being that guy the next day, or even the day before. You've got a message from a girl that you banged, like, I don't know, months ago, and you're like, she's sliding back into my DMs. She wants a little bit more of the D. Obviously, I'm going to give it to her, because why not? She's asked me out, going for drinks, having a really lovely night. Guess to bang, having a great time. Wake up in the morning. Oh, she's gone. Alright, whatever. It's only like a casual thing. Anyway, puss. Puss. Come on, babe, have your breakfast. Puss. think I've ever said the word puss in my life before. First, looking high and low for this cat, and then you're like, surely not, she must have escaped. She must have escaped. There's no way that she's been stolen. And then slowly but surely, I don't know, would you piece the puzzle, would you, is that the right term? Piece the puzzle together? I don't know if you would. You'd have to, wouldn't you? If your cat had never escaped or ran out ever before, and then the night this girl or this guy out of the blue calls you and stays over at your house and leaves before morning, you would know, wouldn't you? But you'd be like, you would never ever know that she knew the ex. Like, because she didn't know the ex, so it would never have come up in conversation. There'd be like no similarities. Oh, you went to this school, shit, my ex went there. Like, there'd be none of that. As far as you know, she's a random and she's only found you through a Facebook group, and she's orchestrated the whole thing to bring justice to that girl. Which, can I just say, I don't actually know what happened in the breakup. Like, they adopted the cat together, and she might have been the one that like cheated or broke up with him or whatever, and he might have been heartbroken. But I love it that doesn't matter, because it's girl on girl, and I feel like collectively we've all been through enough shit. So like, if that girl needs a cat back, she's getting a cat back. It's like Legally Blonde. I'm taking the dog, dumbass. Oh my god, it's given Elle Woods, and I absolutely loved it. So thank you very much for sharing that. And then, okay, lastly, I wanted to switch it this week. So I went online, I basically went on Twitter to try and find a thread, because I feel like the icks thing is always women talking about guys, and to be fair, it's the funniest. But I was like, I wonder what men's icks are of women. So I found a thread, and I'm going to read them out to you. Okay, so here we go. What are men's icks? 1. Acquiring an accent once we get into a sophisticated establishment. I low-key feel like that was me when I was younger. But I'm Welsh, so I'm like, I have to try and put on a telephone voice somewhere, otherwise you might not understand me. This one's funny. Not tiptoeing after someone just mopped an area. Just like stomping straight through. I don't know if that's an ick or if that's just being damn right disrespectful, to be fair. That's like, my favourite film is The Little Princess. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. It's my favourite film from when I was a child, but I've seen it like 18 million gazillion times. And there's like a really bitchy young girl in it. And I can't remember what the little cleaner's name is now. Oh, I hate myself for that. Anyway, the girl's cleaning and mopping, and they're all like in a school, so she's a child as well, right? It's going back in olden times. She's black, she's like basically like a slave. It's awful, right? So she's going through it, and the little princess Zara's the only one who's nice to her, obviously, 'cause she's a darling. So the little girl is cleaning, and then the bitchy girl walks right through the middle of the hallway, all the way up, and she has to redo the whole thing. I would have shoved that mop, and now I'm going to finish my sentence. I would have been fuming. Put it that way. Now, to be fair, I obviously wouldn't shove a mop anyway, but what I would actually do is tilt it out and take her feet from under her. I'd be fuming after I just mopped the whole floor, and I'm going to get in trouble for you walking through it, you spoilt brat. You really need to watch the film. It's really good. Okay, sorry. Number 3, men's icks. Using a driver's license just for ID. Burn. Somebody just tweeted this picture. So sorry that if you're on YouTube you can see. It's basically like legs that are together until the knee. They're like bow. No, it's not bow legs. That's the other way around. Yeah, those legs that are like together at the knee and the bottom of the legs go out. 5. A failed OnlyFans. Yeah, I get that, but starting an OnlyFans is hard, especially if you're trying to do it in secret. Like, give a girl a break. Instead of making it an ick, like, give her a follow. Posting screenshots of conversations on WhatsApp status. I don't even understand that. I've never used WhatsApp status in my life. The only people I know that use it are promoters, because they're just obviously desperate for the buck. Somebody said, has male besties. That's not an ick. I think that's really character building. And also, I guarantee you were allowed girl besties. No, this one was specific. when she leaves a tampon on your floor under your bed because she didn't have the time to go put it in the bathroom, and you find it, it's disgusting, completely dried and crusted to your floor. So you have to have your floor professionally cleaned, and when you talk to her about it, she just says, sorry lol. Oh my days. In what world is somebody... Well, actually, she's obviously taking it out to have sex. It's the only plausible thing I can think of. She's like, they're about to have sex and she takes it out. That's the only way I can think of, because in what world are you taking a tampon out otherwise and putting it on the floor? It has to be pre-sex, but still, you don't then leave it there. That would be on my mind. If I did that, I'd be like, okay, I just know straight away. In the same way that you potentially have to go and rub semen off areas of your body, you're going to know and remember that that tampon's under the bed. I'm sorry, that's very crude. Sometimes we do go there. But, wow, to leave it there that long as well. And he had no idea until it was all too late. My goodness me. But, again, that's not an ick. That's a very specific story. That's not general. It just made me laugh too much. I had to put it in. Throwing a bra under the best just to impress. Fair. I remember when I put this on my Instagram and I asked people what their icks were of men, and a girl responded to say when they bitch about other guys. And I was like, oh yeah, that is an ick. It's not a nice character quality, is it? Women that have deep involvement with fantasies. I don't know what that means, but you just sound triggered. Like, I was an ick if a woman has a fantasy that she wants to see through to the end. Obviously, it depends what the fantasy is, but that's a specific ick. I feel like most guys, if you told them your fantasy and you were like, I really want to do it, they'd be like, yeah, let's go. No, that's an ick. I'd feel like that if it was a guy anyway. Again, it depends what the fantasy is. If he wants me to, like, dress up as a horse or something, you know, then maybe not. But still, we can work around it. I can, like, put a picture of something on my t-shirt or something. When the phone has flash and vibrate on for notifications, I actually agree with that. I know, like, also when sometimes you leave your torch on accidentally. Cringe. Die. Social suicide. Number 12, somebody said, reading slow. I hate that. I get that loads with Matt. I'll show him my phone and I've finished it and I'm holding my phone there for him to finish reading. It's annoying when somebody's not the same reading speed as you, it really is. Purely just for when you want to show her memes. Same like when you show your mother. Always when you show your mother something on your phone. Oh my god, guys, I actually have to say, right? She'll kill me because she listens every week. Yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. When I tell you, on and off all day, my mother texting me, asking me for instructions how to do stuff on Instagram. I was like, Mum, you're asking me over WhatsApp? Like, I don't know. And does it matter? One of them, she said, well, I like all your stuff, as you know, but now when I go back on your page, the red heart isn't showing. Why is that? I'm like, one, I don't know, and two, like, it really doesn't matter. I love your support so much. I know you like everything. If that like isn't showing, so you've probably gone back in and unliked it, that's okay, I can deal with it. Like, oh my god, yeah. I mean, it's sick because I know I'm going to be that one day. Like, I'm going to be the older person. I'm low-key like it now sometimes, especially if, like, a friend hands me an Android or something. I'm like, I cannot work this. I can barely use my MacBook, and I've actually got one, and I use it every day. Use is a term I'm using loosely here, because there's no half the stuff to do on it. I see my friend on it, sometimes she does all these shortcuts. I'm like, I have no idea how to do that. Anyway, back to men's icks. Oh, this is actually me. When she asks questions about a movie we are both seeing for the first time during the movie. Guys, if that isn't me, this is so me. I could be sat down watching a film for the first time. We're both seeing it for the first time. And I'm like, oh my god, who's that now? That's not the husband, is it? Is that the husband? And they're like, I don't know, babe, but I'm literally watching it with her. Yeah, but is it the husband? Do you think it's the husband? As it's like basically telling us, I'm like talking over it. I'm really bad for it. And I'm also bad for just like talking the whole way through, like, I can't believe that, can you? What do you think about that? And I can see sometimes Matt's like, yes, babe, it's bad. Yes, it's bad. And I'm like, sorry. I just can't silence the voice in my head. Probably why I've got a podcast, to be fair. Okay, I've only got a couple more. Actually, that might be the last one, because somebody said cheating. And I was like, that's not an ick. That's just like a general quality that nobody wants in a partner. That's not an ick. And then somebody else wrote underneath saying that men don't understand what icks are. Like, icks are meant to be something that you can really like a guy, and then they put on shoes and they tying up their shoelaces bent over, so they haven't got their leg up somewhere. They're like bent over, and you're like, oh my god, that's an ick. I've seen him do that. Or like, I've seen him from the side hunched over on his computer like Smithers. Oh no, not Smithers, Mr. Burns. And that's an ick. Not like cheating or like lots of the other stuff here. Like the not tiptoeing. Like the ick would be, now that tiptoeing after someone's mopped an area, and a real life girl ick, right? If you were a girl, you'd say the ick was seeing him on his tiptoes. Like, girls' icks are just wild and funny. But yeah, I thought it was interesting to see the guys. And I think what we've learnt, other than a couple, because a couple of them, like, I think the driver's license one is pretty niche, and that's like an ick. But generally, I think girls get icks a lot more than guys. So unlucky for them, but a safe space for us, thankfully. Yeah, guys just don't get it. But yes, okay, that is it. I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to remove my eye makeup immediately and soak myself in cold water. So say a prayer. Also, if you watch on YouTube, add my nails. I'm going to keep this short because I know the commenter... No, I'm not even going to preface it because then it makes it longer. Basically, last time I had my nails done, if you remember me saying, I sobbed in the toilet in work for about 10 minutes afterwards because I hated them. Went today, watched her like a hawk, went back to the same place, but I requested a different person. Watched her like a hawk in everything she did, and asked for red. I've had personality transplant. I literally feel like Miranda Priestley. You cannot mess with me. You can't. I'm actually unstoppable with these red nails, so highly recommend red long nails for the summer because I feel $1 million. Naughty as this week. Anyway, okay, now I'm actually going to wrap it up. Thank you so much once again for watching, listening. Please come give me a follow. Please leave me a review. We're doing really good. I'm still on 5-star review. So please, please, please on Spotify, if you enjoy the episode, just give me a review. It means absolutely everything for me. Honestly, you have no idea. I check them every single day and it means so much, and it just gives me the motivation to keep going because you know ultimately we need big dreams this podcast. We need to get me into a studio and I'm confident we're going to do it together. And yeah, thank you as always for sharing your stories with me. All the show links are in the notes. No, all the links are in the show notes. I know I messed that up. So yeah, come and contact me and also enter the giveaway. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. Thank you guys, and I'll speak to you next week.